You're listening to the Why Boarding School podcast, broadcasting around the world. Join us as we promote independent boarding schools throughout the United States and Canada with our invited guests. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jeffrey Quebec.
Welcome to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Admission at Cate School in Carpinteria, California, Kyle Mason. Welcome, Kyle. It's great to have you here today.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Great. So with quite a rich history dating back to 1910, Cate is, to quote your website, a school with strong academic excellence combined with an adventurous spirit. Kyle, perhaps you can start off by giving our audience a brief overview of the number of students at Cate School, the grades you offer, where the students come from, etc.
Yep, Cate's one of the first boarding schools in the state of California. We actually were founded in 1910, a year after the Thatcher School. Mr. Thatcher took a horse and buggy out west with the frontier mindset, commandeered these two spaces and created their amazing schools. Cate is a small school. You're correct. We're known as a small boarding school. Small boarding schools are any school under 500. We have about 305 students at our school from 18 countries and 25 states. We all live here on campus. We are majority boarding. About 250 of the students are boarders, and we have about 50 to 55 students who are day students. A number of those day students are faculty children. They count as day students, seeing as they don't live in the dormitories, but they are here on campus. So the reality is we actually have about 42 day students, and the others are day students who belong to us, our faculty. Our kids are very, very involved in adventure, exploration, inquiry. They're unintimidated by adults. We're very close with them. There's a huge respect between the adults and the students here, and that comes with trust. That trust comes by way of our close connection with the students. You know, at Cate School, we still follow that old school model of triple threat faculty. So our faculty members they work in the classroom or in administration between 8 and 3. We all coach a sport. Some of us coach each season, some of us coach one season, depending upon what our other responsibilities are, and we all work in the dormitories. Another difference about Cate School is that all the faculty live on campus. Our school has been blessed with the opportunity and the ability to own properties within our town as well. So there are about 10 faculty who live not on the immediate campus, but in the immediate beach town of Carpinteria, California, where we are. Our campus sits upon a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. In your dormitory at Cate, you either have a view of the ocean or a view of the mountains behind us. Another unique difference about Cate School, which you'll find, is that all of our dormitories, with the exception of one dorm, are single rooms. So all of our students have singles for the majority of their 4-year experience at Cate. There are about 50 students on campus who will have a roommate during their first and or second year at Cate School. Because of that, there's one dormitory that has roommates. The rest of the campus is all singles, and that was at Mr. Cate's design. He wanted Cate School to be a place of contemplation, inquiry, and adventure, which it is. And we are a round square school as well. So we are very much involved in internationalism, democracy, education, adventure, leadership, and service.
And so, Kyle, to clarify, it's grade 9 through 12, right?
Yeah, grades 9 through 12.
Is there a postgraduate year? No postgraduate or no? Okay.
No postgraduate. The state of California does not condone the postgraduate programs. You can have one in California, but those students are not allowed to compete in interscholastic sports.
Gotcha. Okay. And so what is the academic curriculum like at Cate School?
I'm glad you asked. At Cate School, we have a unique curriculum where about 8 years ago now, we went away from the AP curriculum and we created our own advanced curriculum. Our advanced curriculum goes a lot deeper into subject matter. It does not teach towards the AP test. Seeing as inquiry is a big part of what we do. We want our kids to be curious. We want them to ask questions. We want them to not get bogged down by cramming for studying for a test. And so, to that end, we've been able to extrapolate courses, some really interesting courses out of the AP curriculum. So, for example, AP Biology has turned into about 6 other courses. We have 3 DNA courses, we have neuroscience, we have marine science, ecosystems of Southern California. Our course load is reminiscent of a university, yet it's presented to the young people in a way that encourages their inquiry, their curiosity, encourages them to ask questions. And the universities, the top 25 universities in the country, have all agreed that this is amazing and awesome. And we were the number 3 school, prep school in the country to make this change.
It seems like there's some unbelievable offerings academically, and so, one thing, having done some research, of course, and knowing about Cate School, can you talk a little bit about the academic advising and support that Cate offers its students?
Yes, Cate is not a crash and burn place. It's not a place where we're waiting for the cream to rise to the top and throwing away the rest. We do support our students. We do have, in your first year at Cate School, each year at Cate School, you'll have an academic class dean and an academic advisor. You'll also have a personal advisor at Cate School. Everything starts with your personal advisor. That's your concierge. That's the person you go to for any question, from how do I sign off campus to how do I prepare myself to take advanced, physics, as a junior. In addition to that, we do have a academic counseling support services group. That group meets with students on a 3 to 5 week basis at most. After that, if the student still needs ongoing support, academic support, likely we're going to find a new place for that student. So we really try to get everyone, if you need to use academic support services, we're hoping that that's a 3-week process. If it extends to 5 weeks and you still need it, we will be likely looking for a new place for you.
Okay. So Kyle, can you tell us, the audience here, a little bit about the visual and performing arts offerings at Cate School?
Yes, we have a wonderful theater. It's not as new as some of the theaters you might see in the East Coast schools. We haven't joined in that arms race yet, but it provides everything that we need. We also have a digital arts studio. We have a beautiful state-of-the-art recording studio, which many schools do not have, for music. We have a brand new dance studio that was opened up about 4 years ago. Our fine arts program delivers everything from visual to hands-on programs, such as our ceramic arts program, which is very unique and beautiful at Cate. We have our own ceramics barn here. We call it the Ceramics Barn. And we have students who go on to the next level, growing in art. I'm thinking of a student right now who deferred Yale for a year to study under a master ceramicist in Japan. He also was a Japanese scholar here at Cate as well. We offer 4 languages: Japanese, Mandarin, Chinese, French, and Spanish.
Well, it's interesting. You've mentioned some pretty unique offerings for the students academically in the classroom. Are there any special signature programs that are offered at Cate?
Our signature program will be our service program. That's kind of what wraps everything at Cate is wrapped around service.
Okay.
So our motto is servant, which is a French word that means let us serve. And to that end, every student, every human at Cate School starts their day off serving the community. And so we recycle, we compost, we vacuum, we sweep, we're wiping down counters every morning at 7 a.m. Before breakfast. Every student has what we call a chore at Cate School. Their chores include their dormitory upkeep, in addition to a variety of opportunities outside of the dorm that include but are not limited to giving tours in the admission office, working in our school garden, supporting our learning center. We do have a learning center on campus for younger children, the children of the faculty who are not in high school yet. And we do have students who volunteer there every day after school to support the children. We also have 2 service days throughout the school year where we take our entire campus, our entire community goes out to Santa Barbara County, and we participate in community service projects throughout the county. We also, every Wednesday night, we have 5 different vehicles, 5 different vans that go to different locations in the city of Santa Barbara for our students to serve. And there's about space for about 40 young people to do that. And every week there's a waiting list for that, we call it the public service night. And so we're very actively engaged and committed to philanthropy, and allowing our kids to understand that they are a part of something much greater than themselves, and to he who much is given, much is expected. So at Cate School, service is paramount, and everything begins with humility and a heart of service.
I like the idea there's not only an opportunity to have service on campus, but also within the greater community.
Yeah.
So are those chores, as you referenced, are those rotated like on a weekly basis or semester? Or they stick with the same chore throughout the year? Or how's that work?
Yes, the chores are rotated every week in the dormitory. The out of the dormitory chores, they have a different rotation depending upon, some students are volunteering to do in addition to doing extra. And so they can stick with that for the whole year, or if it's something they're actually really interested in. But you can also change those as well. But the dormitory chores change every week.
Okay. That's awesome. And so, Kyle, how about athletics? Is every student required to play a sport each season? And if so, or if not, what are some of the athletic offerings that Cate has?
Yes, that's another beautiful, unique characteristic of Cate. Every student at Cate School is required to play team sports. And so with 300 students and over 30 varsity programs, every student is known and needed. To that end,
Go Rams,
no student is... Yeah, go Rams, man. To that end, no student is cut from a team. We do not cut from sports at Cate School. If you are interested in lacrosse and you've never held a lacrosse stick, we're not in the business of saying no. We're going to teach you how to play, and we're going to bring you to a place where you can contribute to the varsity level. It may not be until your senior year, and some kids reach their senior year and they still can't contribute. And so that we have a thirds level for most of our most popular sports. So, for example, soccer is very popular at Cate. We do have 3 levels of soccer. And there are seniors who find themselves playing at the first level. And we find freshmen who can come in and play varsity their first year. So for us, it's about participation. It's about learning how to solve a problem physically with your peers, and what that does for you, how that brings out different leadership skills and characteristics within you.
That's great. So we're going to take a quick break here, Kyle. When we come back, we're joined by Kyle Mason, Director of Admission at Cate School.
Do you have any questions or guests that you'd like to see on an upcoming Why Boarding School podcast? You can contact us directly through our website at whyboardingschool.com. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and I'm joined by Kyle Mason from Cate School. And Kyle is the Director of Admission. And Kyle, as we continue our conversation, learning more about Cate School, could you tell me maybe what's a typical, what's a typical school day like at Cate School?
Very long. I think that I'm probably speaking
in a good way, right?
In a good way. I'm probably speaking for most boarding schools when I say this, but one of the beautiful things about boarding school is we have the ability, the capacity, the wherewithal, and the expertise to mindfully keep your students and your children busy and actively engaged all day. It is the only educational model I know of that puts positively influential adults in front of young people at the rate in which we do. It does not make that better than a day school. It just makes it extremely different. And so at Cate School, our day begins, as I said, at 6:45 when a faculty member wakes you up in the morning. Every student on campus, grades 9 through 12, are woken up each morning by the faculty member who is on duty that day. So if I'm on duty in the evening for study hall, that morning I'm waking up all the boys in my dormitory. I'm making sure they're up, they're getting their chores done, and that they're all off, heading off to breakfast to start the day in a healthy way. That's something you won't see at most boarding schools, particularly at this level and this caliber. We are a Tier A boarding school, extremely rigorous academically, high expectations, and we still care. We care about our kids. We care so much that we want to make sure that we're the last face tucking them in at night to see them, and the first face they see in the morning when they wake up. After you wake up, you go to breakfast, and by 8 o'clock, it's not that much different from most schools. You're going to have classes between 8 o'clock and 3:15. You're going to have a free period within there. You're going to have an assembly or an all-school gathering. If it's not an assembly, it'll be a what we call a servant's talk, where one of our seniors presents a story that he or she has written to the school. It's not edited. It is a student-led program. It gives the kids an opportunity to practice their oratory skills, their responsibility, and their leadership, because they're reading a story and teaching a lesson to their peers. We also meet as an advisory once a week on Tuesdays in lieu of an all-school gathering. So the all-school gatherings happen Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And on Tuesdays, we meet as an advisory. At 3:15, all of our students are engaged in athletics. So everyone spreads out. They go to their respective sports. They're there until about 5:15 or 5:30 for varsity sports. They then head over to the dining hall to sign in for dinner. And they have the opportunity to sign in between 5:30 and 7 p.m. Study hall begins at 8 p.m. That is in your dormitory. There is time prior to study hall for group meetings, tutoring sessions, laundry, phone calls home, video games, whatever you want. You can utilize that time. Ideally, kids are going to be utilizing that time in a good way. So we try to put them in good habits. By 8 o'clock, everyone is in their dormitory room at their desk studying. They're focused on solo study for the first hour. And then at 9 p.m., students are allowed to leave the dormitory to go to any of the, a language lab, a math lab, go see, Mr. Collins at his house for physics help. I'm going to run down and see Miss Swinson because she was baking cookies and she told me I could come down at 9:15 and grab some, and I'm doing well in my schoolwork, so the person on duty is going to allow me to leave and go grab some cookies. There's a myriad of things that happen, in that second hour. Kids get a little busy and they want to kind of move around. Lights out. Everyone's back in their dorm by 10 p.m. The underclassmen are in the dorm. Seniors are back in the dorm by 10:30. And lights out for underclassmen is at 11 p.m. It's a pretty long day, but we keep the kids busy. We keep them focused. We keep them engaged, and that lessens homesickness. That lessens the opportunity for the mind to wander, to think about what you could be doing instead of, working extra hard to become an agent of change. But we remind our kids every day: listen, this isn't supposed to be normal. This isn't supposed to be like other schools. This is different. You signed up for this. If you don't want it, that is okay. There are young people out there who really want this. So we're looking for young people who want to be challenged.
That's great. Certainly, you mentioned a busy day, but it seems like a lot of fun activities too.
Yes.
And so how does that carry over to the weekend? What are the weekends like at Cate School? Are there events, different clubs, trips, off campus,
Right.
On campus activities, et cetera?
Weekends are full. They're packed,
Okay.
just like the during the week. We do carve out time for students to breathe and do laundry and kind of like decide what they want to do with that time. But twice a month on Saturday, we do have school. We do have academic classes. So that's twice a month. Some schools you'll recognize back east may have Saturday classes every week. And there are a couple of schools now who don't have Saturday classes at all. Cate School has Saturday class twice a month, every other week. That goes from 9:30 to 12:30 on Saturday morning, and at 12:30 you're allowed to break off. And if you don't have an athletic responsibility, you can do any of the things that we've planned for you. We have a student activities group that plans both off-campus and on-campus activities every Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and Sunday morning. So those students meet throughout. Well, actually, they do the bulk of their planning over the summer. To plan it out for the school year, and then during the school year they'll meet a few times to do some fill-ins. There may be a change in schedule. There may be the go-kart outing that we had scheduled for the week of December 5th and 6th, it got canceled because whatever, the electricity was out the go-kart place, so they need to create another activity for that weekend. They'll meet that week, make a decision by Wednesday. It'll be up on the calendar by Thursday afternoon, and then students can sign up. Also, in addition to that, there's always things happening with our faculty. One of the benefits of boarding school is the fact that you're living with these amazing masters of craft who want to be with teenagers. So, there might be an Oreo cookie stacking contest at someone's house. My wife may be doing crocheting on her own and invite a couple of kids over to crochet with her. There may be dodgeball, a pickup dodgeball game that just happens, because kids just want to do something. So there's always activities. Like I said, there's always a planned activity on and off campus. And then there's in addition to that, there's a bunch of things that just happen.
I love that expression, masters of craft, especially when you have that triple threat model that you've got these teachers and
Right.
faculty and staff members. They're experts in many areas. That's great. So you mentioned a little bit earlier as far as meals, checking into the dining hall or for dinner. Can you tell us a little about meals? Are they sit down? Are they buffet style? Are they required, optional, et cetera?
Yep. Yep. So the meals are encouraged. The required meals are we have one meal that you have to go every Monday night. We have formal dinner, where we dress up in whatever garb is formal to your culture. It does not have to be Western coat and tie. Whatever garb is formal in your culture, where you come from, what you represent, we'd love for you to represent that. We do sit family style. Those seats rotate every 3 weeks. There are 2 faculty and 8 students to every table. And we also have our first year students, our waiters, and they rotate throughout the year. So in your first year, you're a waiter, and that rotates. In addition to that, lunches are not mandatory, but students are generally, there. If we find a student who's, consistently not having lunch, then we have conversations with them. We encourage them. We guide them in loco parentis, as the way any parent would. That is our charge. We are in loco parentis. We are here to be the voice of the parent to their child when they're not physically in front of them. And so the triangle of communication between parent, student, and school is extremely strong at Cate School, and it's something that we really lean into.
Well, plus with the busy day, I'm sure they're quite hungry. They want to get some
Yes.
good food. So you touched a little bit about earlier. Could you expand upon dormitory life, what dorm life is like?
Yep. Dorm life at Cate School is fun. It's not, it is different than I think dorm life on the East Coast, primarily because of the fact that we're in Southern California. It's about 70 to 80 degrees all year. Every dorm room at Cate School has an entry to the outside, so everyone has a balcony or a patio on their dorm. The dorm rooms are a little bit smaller than the East Coast rooms because we don't spend as much time in the dormitory. The majority of the things that we do at Cate School are outside. We didn't have to pivot too much during COVID because we already established outdoor classrooms. We already have that. We have a Spanish mission styled architecture on campus. So every single room, office or classroom or dorm room, has a direct doorway to the outdoors. Nothing is over 2 stories at Cate School. Everything is first floor, second floor. So students have balconies or patios. Classrooms all have the same.
Nice. So just to follow up a little bit on the advisor system you mentioned earlier, are the advisors, they live in the dormitory or not necessarily? And also the advisors the students have, are they the same advisor during their entire tenure at Cate School, or does that also change?
Great question. At Cate School, your advisor can be any available faculty member. So they could live in your dormitory, but they don't have to.
Okay.
There are schools where the advisors are given to the students by way of their dormitory, but Cate is not like that. So, for example, I have every adult here is charged with having 6, at the most 6 advisees. So my 6 advisees run between freshman and senior. I have boys and girls. They're in different dorms. None of my advisees actually live in the dorm that I work in, but that could be the case. Kids can change their advisor. Students choose we give you an advisor your first year because you don't know anyone.
Of course.
And you have the opportunity to change that advisor after 6 weeks of being at school, which is October 16th, which usually is around family weekend at Cate School. Almost, I would say about 99% of the time, no one makes a switch at that time because our faculty are great at what they do and supporting these young people. Students often will look to change at the end of the first year. Some students want to get to know a different adult each year. Some students say, oh my God, I had this wonderful experience with my track and field coach this spring. Man, I really want her to be my advisor next year. Oh, she has an opening because someone's graduating. I'm going to try to switch in. But we give the choice and the power to the student because this is one of the most important relationships you can have at a boarding school is with your advisor.
Yeah, so true. Very nice. Would you say, is there a typical Cate School student?
I would say yes and no. I'll say yes in that there are characteristics that Cate School students need to embody. I will say no in that we want every student to be their unique self. There's not one personality type that we're looking for. On the yes side, what do they all have in common? All of our students are cognitively mature. You're cognitively mature enough to be away from your family, to have to put your body in your mind where it needs to be at the time it needs to be there, with the focus that you need to have while you're there in that space. Our students need to be willing and able to share themselves. This is not a school where a student with blinders who just wants to do their thing, stay in their lane, and be excellent at one thing. This is not the place for that. There are schools for that. Cate is not that place. Cate is a place where, if you wanted to have rainbow colored hair, you can do that. You don't have to look like a J. Crew model at Cate School. And so there is space for individualism. There's also an expectation of respect, interest in culture, interest in sharing yourself, and interest in learning. We are lifelong learners here at Cate School. So we're looking for young people who are mature enough to understand that that's where they need to be, and that this is a place where it's okay to not know something.
Yeah, it's certainly a great philosophy to have, especially as they're so young and they're still learning, and they're learning from, as you mentioned, the different experts you have in these areas. So, Kyle, are there any, let's call it, cool traditions at Cate School that may be unique from other schools, or maybe perhaps there's that one tradition that you hope always remains part of Cate School?
Traditions. I will say, being a younger boarding school, just being founded in 1910, we're not beholden to as many traditions as some of the East Coast schools that you might be aware of. We do have a headmaster society games tradition at Cate, which I do enjoy. First of all, no one uses the word headmaster anymore. We say head of school, but because this is an older tradition, we still call it headmaster society games. And so that's been something that's been really cool, dividing the school up into different groups. And having them do little silly events throughout the school year, which add points to their dormitory, and then the dormitory gets a pizza party at the end. So it's kind of very Harry Potter-esque, but it's fun.
I'm sure the kids love it.
But I would say that, and our outings week. So Cate School has our most unique tradition is outings week. And what happens is so when you first arrive at Cate School, the first 6 days, we're acclimating you to campus. We're giving you your books. You have your class schedule. You're getting ready. You haven't gone to class yet. There's the first 6 days, I believe there's only 1 day of classes. What we're doing in those 6 days is we're doing a lot of icebreakers, and we're outfitting you for an 8-day excursion in the backcountry.
Okay.
The entire school gets divided up. Each grade gets divided into pods, and each grade goes to a different location in the Yosemite National Forest. While you're there, each year, your week is exponentially more self-reliant. So as a freshman, you are going to a campsite where you have cabins, bathrooms, a kitchen. We cook food for you. You go on day hikes every day. You're sleeping indoors. You're protected. It's really user-friendly. By your junior year,
they call that glamping?
Cabin. Yeah, it's glamping, exactly. By your junior year, there is no tent. You have a sleeping bag. You're fishing for your food. That you're using a compass. There's no electronics. And every day of your hike, there's a different student leader. And so the adults fall back junior year, where we allow the students to make mistakes. We allow the students to get lost in the woods on their hike. We allow the students to realize that, we didn't catch enough fish tonight for all of us to eat. So how are we going to divide this up? How is this going to work? And so we allow them to go through those growing pains and those learning opportunities. And what that does is that, number one, it gives them so much ownership of the experience. It gives them leadership skills. It bonds them and brings them together. And we just have found that it's been super, super helpful when we return to campus, and we've got our entire school has now bonded in the backcountry, doing things that some of them thought that they were not able to do, and supporting each other in ways that they never probably imagined supporting someone who they didn't know very well. And so it allows us to create the community that you feel when you visit Cate. Visiting Cate is paramount, I think, to making your decision. We are a unique place. There is an energy, a love, a sense of happiness that exists here that I don't think you're going to easily find in other communities.
And I just think about that. The idea that some of these students going camping, what an awesome experience, especially for those who've never gone camping before in their life. And the concept of sleeping in a sleeping bag or sleeping on the ground. That's great. And
with your teachers.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Kyle, before we dive into admissions, is there anything about Cate School that we didn't discuss today that you'd like to mention?
I think we're covering all the topics. We are a California boarding school. We are the first. I mean, Cate and Thatcher started the same. Within 6-8 months of each other. We're a place that really cherishes and focuses on human development and care. We want to make sure that our students graduate as Masters of Inquiry, Masters of Collaboration, Masters of Problem Solving. Those are the 3 areas that we focus on. And there's a human aspect to this experience that I feel like stands out on its own and is very unique.
So if someone's interested in Cate School, how might they go about starting the admissions process?
Well, they can go to our website, www.cate.org, CATE.org. You can go to the top menu bar, click admission, and then you can start your inquiry process. We do need you to fill out an inquiry form, which is basically a lot of background information, name, address, what school you go to, who your parents are, how you found Cate, why do you want to go to Cate. After that, we will invite you for an interview. Students and families should schedule their interviews by January 15th. We will interview throughout the month of January. Clearly, there are more students who need to interview than there are days on the calendar. So we will go through the month of January, but we need to be scheduled by January 15th. That is our application due date. Our students also are required to take the SSAT. You can take the SSAT or the ICE, Independent School Entrance Exam. Those are the 2 exams that we do accept coming into Cate. We don't have a cutoff or a score that we're shooting for. Our average score is above 2,000 raw, with the raw score above 2,000. International students must take the TOEFL exam. You can take the TOEFL or the Duolingo. Many families will ask me, I'm a U.S. citizen. I live in Hong Kong. I've been going to an American school my entire life that speaks English. Do I still have to take the TOEFL? If you interview with us in person, you do not. If you're requesting a virtual interview as an international student, you must take one of the language exams, regardless of what school you go to.
Well, this is great, Kyle. It's been really enjoyable learning more about the Cate School and sharing the beautiful opportunities here on campus. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Kyle Mason, Director of Admission, Cate School. And please visit their website at cate.org.
Thank you for listening to the Why Boarding School podcast. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode. Please remember to subscribe to the Why Boarding School podcast and help us spread the word. Until next time.